hopefully this will take off and we'll have them back in one form or another.
That's and it is due to to online destinations like yours, to social media that has kept this debate alive. Why are they gone? What else are you going to put on? What you're putting on in its place isn't really very interesting, and so what are you going to do about it?
Exactly.
And so I applaud you guys for getting in there and jumping into the fight, because it's one worth having.
Thank you. It's our imaginary family, so we got to do something. Well, I know you can't tell us about your upcoming storylines or anything about General Hospital, but I wanted to say welcome back, and we look forward to seeing you on there and relating and acting with, some of the characters that they brought back that you worked with before.
Yeah, it's been really fun. I've been back a few weeks, and it's a slightly different schedule, but
right.
Having spent 11 years on just that one lot at ABC Prospect in Hollywood, and having not been there since 2003, I think Port Charles aired into 2004, but we had actually been shut down for a few months before they ran out of shows and took it off the air. So it was close to a decade since I had even set foot on that lot.
Mm-hmm.
Walking in and being greeted by so many people who were just so warm and welcoming and happy to still be there.
Right.
But and also it's coming in at a really good time. I mean, it feels good that the show's on its way to its 50th anniversary.
Yes.
When I started General Hospital, it was the year of its 30th anniversary.
Oh my gosh.
I know. A friend of mine laughed the other day. He says, I think of everything now. Everything happened either 20 or 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know, and I think that's the way it's always going to be until you add a 40 to it.
But we're all still the same age, though, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not a day over 29.
Right.
But, to come back to General Hospital right now is a good time. It's on an upswing, as you know. Its ratings have, especially in terms of today's numbers and how we measure them, the ratings on that show have skyrocketed.
Yes.
And the demos have skyrocketed, and which means it's becoming a profitable show again.
Right.
So it's very exciting. So maybe the confluence between that and Prospect Park and the fact that people are getting tired of some of the things that they're seeing in the place of just good storytelling. Mm-hmm. It's a really good time to be a part of this again.
Yeah.
And, I'm really happy to be back.
Yeah, with the primetime shows, too, the reboot of Dallas, and then you have Revenge and Deception and all these other,
Scandal,
soap stories that people don't even think of as soap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're soap operas.
Yep.
I go see a lot of movies and they're soap operas.
Exactly.
But I guess just what we call soap operas, just plain old good storytelling about people, and every scene, like every show, has a good cliffhanger.
Exactly.
To keep you going.
Exactly, and that's what General Hospital has brought back. Besides all of our characters that we loved back in the day, is good writing.
Yeah.
And leaving us with cliffhangers almost daily. So it's really great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I also want to talk about, now you've been in a lot of films since you've left GH or Port Charles and all that, and you've recently co-produced, co-wrote, directed, and star in How We Got Away with It. Can you tell us more about that movie?
I can tell you I'm really tired.
I can imagine. You did a lot.
I can tell you a lot about that movie. I know every single frame of that movie.
Yeah.
That's something that I've been working towards for years now. I've been making short films. I wrote a produced screenplay a few years ago called The Heart Easy, which was released in 2007. And How We Got Away with It is really, for me, a culmination of a lot of years of experience and interest and wanting to be more involved than just as an actor. That's not that's not like saying acting is an easy job, because it's not.
Right.
But having to climb the mountain of co-writing, co-producing, directing, and as you said, co-starring in an independent film where basically you have to do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
It's
Gosh,
huge.
I can't even imagine
like,
wearing that many hats in one movie.
Well, that's the good thing, though. Finola Hughes just directed a very small film, and we have a nice talk about that, because one thing we both learned about it is that, hey, I've got a lot of expertise now, and I can bring it to bear on this one thing. Mm-hmm. And, I can do this. I'm actually good at this. So it was great to do that. And it's also, you need to stretch your wings. You need to do new things. You need to try new challenges. And for this movie at this time, for me, it was exactly what I needed to do. I'd certainly hope to be doing more, but I just want to have more money to do it.
Right. That helps.
But, having said that, I say, oh, well, you do it all by yourself. But no, I didn't do it all by myself. We had an exceptional cast. We had a very challenging and really kind of dense script that is not it's about a very tough subject, which is it's about transgenerational abuse. And the challenge for us was to make a story like that involving, if not entertaining. And so I made the decision to structure the story and shoot it and edit it as if it were to unfold like a mystery, and it's essentially a coup, like a military coup, but in one person's home. So it's doing quite well. I mean, we just finished everything off. I mean, as of this month, actually, between color correction and sound mix and final edits and everything. It's a very long process, but it's been fantastic. And we are in our first 2 film festivals, in the Macon Film Festival in Macon, Georgia, which is known as an emerging film festival. They only accept 8 or 9 feature films, and ours was one of them, over a 4-day festival, which is good.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. We also have been accepted to the Soho International Festival.
Oh, wow.
In April. Yeah, so, and that I believe is going to be a New York premiere. They've invited us to be a New York premiere, which is a nice little honor.
Definitely.
And we're waiting to hear from South by Southwest. So if you know anybody at South by Southwest, please give them a call. Send them an email.
Well, maybe they're listening. Give them a shout-out on air. Maybe they're listening.
Yeah, South by Southwest Film Fest. We are a perfect match for you guys.
There you go.
We're independent, and our soundtrack is filled with independent musicians, come to think of it. We have a terrific soundtrack.
Oh, wow.
We expect to release that, too. Made up of nothing but independent artists. So we're very proud.
That's wonderful.
It looks wonderful. It looks like $1 million. All the performances are there, and it's a movie that can really get under your skin and make you think. We're very proud of it.
Well, it was shot entirely on location in Rochester, New York, from what I read.
Rochester, New York, which looks strangely almost identical to my hometown of Memphis. So when I got up there, I went, oh, this is going to be easy. All these buildings look the same. But that came about because our co-writer, co-producer, one of the stars, a very talented young actor named Jeff Barry, is from Rochester, as is our other producer, our Aaron Craig. They know each other from the New York theater scene. And so it being an independent movie, that's where we got the free locations and the deals on the food and a house to put all the actors in. And, that's independent filmmaking.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We shot in Rochester. That's where all the free stuff came from.
Well, Jon, I wanted to ask, you've worn so many hats in your field, and is there one particular aspect of it, writing, producing, directing, acting, is there one particular aspect that you just really enjoy? Obviously, we know you enjoy acting, but of the writing, producing, directing, where do you think your creative energy is kind of you're fulfilled the most from? That's kind of a big question, but it's because I do
because I do a lot of things, but I happen to enjoy all of them, I consider myself a filmmaker. I don't consider myself an actor who directs or a director who happens to write. I consider myself a filmmaker. And as long as I'm involved in the aspects of making film, and I include television in that, I don't intend to sound like a snob. I think it's all the same thing. It's telling a story visually with dialogue. And to me, as long as I'm involved in that process, whether I'm acting, writing, or directing, though I'm not such a big fan of producing, I have to say, I'd rather let somebody else do that. But of the big three, acting, writing, directing, as long as I'm doing one of those, then I'm a happy guy. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. And I guess you may not be able to answer my next question, but if you throw music in the mix, you're a musician too. I guess the question I want to ask you is if what is something you would like to do that you haven't done, maybe in this realm? And it sounds like you've kind of covered all the bases, but is there something out there that you maybe haven't hit on yet?
Well, I'd say I'd like to write a book, but I've written several screenplays now, and 2 of them have been produced. So if I never write a book, and I say a book like a novel, maybe a 150-page original story, if I don't get around to that, I think I can live with that.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
I would like, I've always kind of seen myself kind of ending my creative life and spending a lot of my older years banging away on a computer and cranking out pulp novels or something. Something that I can do just all by myself and not have anybody how to do it. I'd love to be able to do that, but again, like I say, if I find myself 85 years old and like Clint Eastwood and still able to do some acting and directing, then I'd probably just do that.
Yeah.
I don't think I would go on tour with a rock band again. I don't think I'd do that.
No.
Well, suffice it to say, I think Pam will second me on this, and many of the listeners out there. But we hope that you are still doing this when you're 85. Even if it's a leisurely type thing, and we see you every once in a while, it'd be still great to think we could have you around that long.
I hope I'm still able to do it when I'm 85.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think you will be, because from what I read on how many sports you're into, scuba diving, skiing, surfing, and all that, you've got to be in excellent shape. So if you keep that going and eat well and do what you're supposed to do, I think you'll be around for a long, long time.
Well, thank you. Life is meant to be lived, and a body in motion stays in motion. So
this is true.
I like to be active. I like to be involved in the world. So that's why I go out and I ski and I surf and travel, and it's always better to do it with somebody. Fortunately, I've got someone who will do those things with me.
Yeah, and you've been to a lot of places also that I've read. Where is somewhere that you haven't been that you'd like to go?
There's 2 that stick right out. Japan. I'd like to see all of Japan, and I consider this kind of the same area. Australia, New Zealand, Fiji.
Oh, yeah.
Tasmania, that part of the world I'm interested in. I would love to see either the North or South Pole. There's something about the films I've seen of that barren landscape of nothing but ice that I really would love to see. And I want to do there's like a 2 or 3 week rafting camping trip through the Alaskan wilderness. I would love to be able to do that.
Wow.
So those are the ones that pop right up. I could keep going on. I mean, I'd like to see South America. I'd like to see Patagonia and Chile and Buenos Aires and all that. But I will.
Well, you don't have to go far to see the ice and stuff. Just come to Chicago.
Yeah, right. Just come to Chicago anytime and take a look at the Great Lakes.
Now, another thing I wondered, I didn't see anything about you doing any plays. Have you done any theater?
I did, I've actually done quite a bit of theater. While I was living in New York, over the last 4 or 5 years. Katie actually introduced me to a